There are hundreds of types of cheese in the world. Creamy ones, hard ones, aged, fresh, flavored, spreadable. But here's the truth almost no one will tell you. For seniors over 60, only 4 of them will protect your body, and only 4 of them can quietly destroy it. Out of all the varieties you see in the store, just 8 make the difference between walking strong in your 80s or struggling to stand at 70. 4 are healing, life-extending, and muscle-protecting. 4 are lethal, artery-clogging, and independence-destroying. And every single senior is eating from one of these 2 lists right now, whether they know it or not. The dairy industry doesn't want you to know this. Behind the shelves sits a trillion-dollar market built on exports, marketing tricks, and endless profits. The dangerous cheeses are cheap to make and addictively salty, so they're pushed hardest. But here's the science they can't bury. A 6-year study showed that seniors who ate the wrong cheese daily were 52% more likely to lose mobility. That's why I'm here, speaking directly to you, not as a marketer, but as a doctor who's watched too many patients lose their independence over something that could have been prevented. In this video, we're going to count down the 4 worst cheeses you must never touch after 60, and then the 4 you should eat daily to stay mobile, sharp, and independent. Stick around, because number 3 on the list will shock you. It's not exotic. It's not rare. It's one you've probably eaten today without realizing how dangerous it really is. All references are in the description below. Don't just take my word for it. Check the science for yourself. Now let me ask you, how old are you and which cheese do you eat the most in your daily life? Share your answer in the comments. We reply to every single one. Now, without any further ado, let's start with number 4 in the worst cheeses list, and it might shock you how dangerous something this common can really be. Number 4. American cheese. At number 4 sits a food that barely qualifies as cheese at all. American cheese. Those neat little orange squares wrapped in plastic may melt perfectly on a burger, but behind that glossy shine is a cocktail of salt, artificial color, and fillers that hit seniors harder than almost any other group. Real cheese comes from milk, cultures, and time. American cheese comes from scraps of dairy, emulsifiers, and preservatives designed for convenience, not health. And when you're over 60, that convenience has a hidden cost. The problem starts with sodium. Just 2 slices of American cheese can pack nearly half of the daily recommended salt intake for an older adult. Too much salt draws water into your blood vessels, raising blood pressure like air pumping into a balloon. At first, the damage is invisible, but inside, arteries begin to stiffen and weaken. A 2019 study in hypertension showed that adults over 60 who ate high-sodium processed cheeses faced a 74% higher risk of cardiovascular events within 5 years. That risk doesn't mean just a number. It means strokes, heart attacks, and hospital stays that change the rest of your life. For seniors, the effects often show up quietly: swollen ankles that make shoes tight, fatigue when climbing stairs, dizzy spells that feel like just age, but those are warning flares from your body. I once heard about Harold, a 70-year-old grandfather who ate American cheese daily because it was cheap and easy. By the time he landed in the ER with dangerously high blood pressure, he realized what those little slices had cost him. When he finally cut them out, his energy returned within months. And here's the cruel irony: American cheese doesn't even deliver the nutrients that real cheeses do. It's lower in calcium, weaker in protein, and stripped of the natural compounds that protect bones and muscles. Seniors who eat it daily trade away strength for salt and chemicals, and that's a trade no one over 60 can afford. This is why American cheese makes the list of never-touch cheeses. It pretends to be harmless comfort food, but inside, it's a slow drain on independence. And the next cheese is even worse because it hides its danger behind a label of tradition. Number 3. Cream cheese. Cream cheese feels harmless. It's soft, smooth, and marketed as the friendly spread for bagels and desserts. But for seniors over 60, it's a silent enemy. Unlike aged cheeses that bring real protein and bone-building calcium, cream cheese is almost empty. What it delivers instead is a concentrated dose of saturated fat, the kind that clogs arteries and accelerates decline. Saturated fats raise LDL cholesterol, the so-called bad cholesterol that hardens arteries and slows circulation. Once blood vessels begin to stiffen, the risks pile up: high blood pressure, heart disease, strokes. A large study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that adults who consumed more saturated fat from dairy were 41% more likely to develop cardiovascular disease compared to those who chose lower fat alternatives. For a senior, that's not just a statistic. It's a ticking clock, and the danger hides in plain sight. One little serving of cream cheese looks small, but it adds up fast. A thick layer on a bagel in the morning can push you close to your daily limit of saturated fat before lunch. Add cheesecake or creamy dips, and the damage compounds day after day. The body can't ignore it. Eileen, a 73-year-old retiree, started every morning with her light breakfast of bagel and cream cheese. She thought it was safer than bacon or sausage. But over the years, her cholesterol soared. Her doctor found plaque narrowing her arteries, and even short walks left her breathless. When she replaced her cream cheese habit with cottage cheese and fruit, her numbers began to improve, and so did her energy. The biggest issue with cream cheese is not just what it contains, but what it lacks. No real calcium for bones, no meaningful protein for muscles, no protective compounds for the brain. It's a food that fills your plate but gives nothing in return, except higher risk. That's why cream cheese should be off the menu after 60. And as dangerous as it is, the next cheese manages to be worse because it combines that same artery-clogging fat with sky-high salt levels that quietly damage the heart. Number 2. Blue cheese, overripe, moldy varieties. Blue cheese has a reputation for being gourmet, the kind of cheese you crumble over salads or pair with wine. But for seniors over 60, it can be a hidden danger. The very mold that gives blue cheese its strong flavor produces compounds called mycotoxins. In small amounts, most bodies can handle them. But as the immune system weakens with age, these toxins can overwhelm the body, leading to inflammation, digestive distress, and in some cases, liver strain. The problem doesn't stop there. Blue cheese is also one of the saltiest cheeses on the market. Just 1 ounce can contain more than 325 milligrams of sodium. For seniors with already fragile arteries, that extra salt raises blood pressure and pushes the heart harder than it can safely handle. A study in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that seniors who consistently consumed high-salt cheeses like blue cheese had a 56% greater risk of hypertension-related complications, including strokes and heart failure. The risk grows even higher when the cheese is left to oviripin. Mold growth becomes unpredictable, producing not only stronger odors, but potentially harmful bacterial contamination. That's why doctors often warn seniors with weaker immune systems to avoid mold-ripened cheeses entirely. The consequences may show up as stomach cramps, food poisoning, or, more dangerously, infections that the body struggles to fight. Walter, a 75-year-old retiree, loved sprinkling blue cheese on his salads because it felt like a healthy choice. But after months of digestive discomfort, bloating, and rising blood pressure, his doctor traced part of the problem back to his daily indulgence. When he switched to lower sodium cheeses with probiotics, his symptoms eased, and his energy slowly returned. What makes blue cheese so deceptive is the illusion of sophistication. It looks fancy, tastes bold, and feels like a treat. But for seniors, it's a cocktail of sodium, saturated fat, and mold toxins, all combining to weaken the very systems that protect independence. That's why this cheese is one to avoid after 60. And while blue cheese is bad, the next cheese on this list carries an even heavier price because it's the one most seniors eat without a second thought, even though research links it directly to a doubled risk of stroke. Before we move on, Tap that like button and subscribe. The most shocking part is still coming. Number 1. Cheese spreads. Cheese spreads look innocent. They come in bright packaging, they're soft, easy to spread on crackers, and they seem convenient. But for seniors over 60, they are the single most dangerous form of cheese. Unlike natural cheeses, cheese spreads are ultra-processed. They are loaded with sodium, artificial stabilizers, preservatives, and unhealthy fats that combine into a toxic mix for aging bodies. One of the biggest issues is sodium. A couple of tablespoons can deliver more than 400 milligrams of salt. That might not sound like much, but for seniors who already face declining kidney function and stiffening arteries, it's enough to drive blood pressure through the roof. A large Japanese study found that older adults who regularly consumed processed cheese products like spreads had nearly double the risk of stroke compared to those who ate natural, low-sodium cheeses. Double. That's the cost of convenience. The fat profile is just as harmful. Cheese spreads often rely on hydrogenated oils and fillers that mimic creaminess but pack dangerous trans fats. These fats are notorious for raising LDL cholesterol while lowering HDL, the good cholesterol that protects the heart. Over time, that imbalance makes arteries brittle and increases the risk of heart attack. Symptoms build quietly. A little more swelling in the ankles, shortness of breath when walking, a sense of fatigue that doesn't go away. For many seniors, these red flags get brushed off as just aging, but they're not. They're warnings from the body under constant strain. Evelyn, a 72-year-old retiree, kept a jar of cheese spread in her fridge because it was cheap and easy. She thought nothing of eating it daily on crackers. Within years, her blood pressure spiked, and her doctor told her she was at high risk for stroke. Only after cutting out processed spreads did her numbers start to drop. The final betrayal of cheese spreads is that they deliver almost no real nutrition, no meaningful calcium for bones, no protein to protect muscles, no probiotics to help the gut. It's food that fills you up while stealing your health. That's why cheese spreads top the list of worst cheeses for seniors. They are marketed as convenient and harmless, but the truth is they can rob you of independence faster than almost any other dairy product. And now that we've cleared the worst offenders, it's time to turn to the good news, the cheeses you should eat daily to stay strong, mobile, and independent. Number 4. Feta, goat or sheep milk. Feta cheese is one of the oldest cheeses in the world, and for seniors over 60, it's one of the smartest daily choices. Unlike processed cheeses that are packed with additives, feta made from goat or sheep milk is clean, natural, and nutrient-dense. What makes it stand out is its unique blend of calcium, protein, and probiotics, all in a package that's lower in fat and calories than most traditional cheeses. For aging bodies, that means stronger bones, better digestion, and fewer hidden risks. Calcium is the star here. Seniors are at high risk of osteoporosis, which weakens bones and makes fractures far more likely. A single hip fracture can take away independence overnight. Feta provides nearly 15% of the daily recommended calcium in just 1 ounce, while also delivering phosphorus, another mineral that locks strength into bones. A 2015 study in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research found that seniors who consumed more dairy calcium had a 33% lower risk of hip fractures, proving how much this mineral matters. There's also the advantage of goat and sheep milk itself. Unlike cow's milk, it contains shorter-chain fatty acids that are easier to digest and less likely to trigger sensitivity. For many seniors who think they're lactose intolerant, switching to feta made from goat or sheep milk can mean enjoying cheese again without stomach pain. Maria, a 69-year-old retiree, thought she had to give up cheese forever because cow's milk upset her stomach. When her daughter introduced her to feta, she discovered not only could she enjoy it without discomfort, but her digestion and energy noticeably improved. Feta's salty tang also makes it satisfying in small amounts, so seniors don't need large portions to feel full. It's a food that works with your body instead of against it. This is why feta earns its place on the must-eat list. It supports bones, fuels digestion, and is gentler on aging stomachs. And while feta is powerful, the next cheese offers an even greater benefit. It strengthens not just your body, but also your heart. Number 3. Cottage cheese. Cottage cheese often gets overlooked because it looks plain and simple, but for seniors, that's exactly what makes it so powerful. Unlike processed cheeses, cottage cheese is fresh, light, and loaded with the nutrients that aging bodies desperately need, especially protein. After 60, muscle loss speeds up, a condition known as sarcopenia, and protein becomes the single most important nutrient to slow it down. Cottage cheese delivers around 14 grams of high-quality protein per half cup, making it one of the best foods to rebuild strength meal by meal. Science backs this up. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that seniors who consumed higher levels of dairy protein had 40% better muscle retention compared to those who ate less. Muscles are not just about lifting weights. They are about balance, walking, and even breathing. Without enough protein, the body begins breaking down muscle for energy, leaving seniors weaker, more tired, and more likely to fall. Cottage cheese acts like a daily shield against that decline. The benefits go further. Cottage cheese is also rich in casein, a slow-digesting protein that keeps muscles fed for hours. This makes it especially effective when eaten before bed, since the body repairs and rebuilds during sleep. Seniors who add it to their evening routine often wake up feeling stronger and less sore. Cottage cheese also delivers calcium for bones, B vitamins for energy, and it's naturally lower in fat than many other cheeses. Seniors watching their weight can enjoy it without fear of packing on extra pounds. And because it's mild in flavor, it pairs easily with fruit, vegetables, or even savory dishes, making it simple to add daily. This is why cottage cheese belongs on the must-eat list for anyone over 60. It fuels muscles, strengthens bones, and helps restore the energy needed to stay independent. But while cottage cheese protects strength, the next cheese is a guardian of the heart itself. Number 2. Parmesan aged. Parmesan may look like just a hard, crumbly topping for pasta, but it's one of the most nutrient-dense cheeses in the world, and for seniors over 60. It's a powerhouse for both bones and heart health. Unlike soft or processed cheeses, Parmesan is aged for months, sometimes years, which changes its structure and concentrates its nutrients. Just a small sprinkle delivers calcium, protein, and minerals in amounts that rival far larger portions of other cheeses. The numbers are impressive. 1 ounce of Parmesan contains more calcium than a full glass of milk. Calcium is the cornerstone of bone strength, and without enough of it, seniors face a steep climb toward osteoporosis and fractures. A hip fracture can steal independence in an instant, but a 2018 study in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research confirmed that seniors with higher dairy calcium intake had a 33% lower risk of fractures compared to those with low intake. Parmesan, gram for gram, is one of the most efficient sources of that protection. But Parmesan's benefits don't stop at the skeleton. Because it's aged, it's naturally lower in lactose, making it easier to digest for seniors who struggle with milk-based foods. It also contains peptides, tiny protein fragments formed during the aging process that have been shown to lower blood pressure and improve circulation. For seniors dealing with hypertension, that makes Parmesan more than tasty, it's therapeutic. Another overlooked advantage of Parmesan is its density. Because the flavor is so strong, seniors don't need large portions to feel satisfied. A small shave over vegetables or soup adds taste and nutrients without the excess fat or salt of other cheeses. That makes it a smart way to boost nutrition while still keeping calories in check. This is why Parmesan holds its spot on the must-eat list. It's concentrated, digestible, and proven to strengthen bones and support circulation. And yet, as good as Parmesan is, the final cheese on this list may be the most surprising of all, because it not only protects the body, but actively helps seniors fight off weakness and fatigue every single day. Number 1. Ricotta. Ricotta may look soft and unassuming, but for seniors, it's the most powerful cheese you can eat daily. Made from the leftover weight of other cheeses, ricotta is naturally rich in whey protein, the same type used by athletes to build muscle. And that's exactly what makes it so critical after 60. While many cheeses bring flavor, ricotta brings recovery. It feeds muscles, strengthens bones, and helps restore the very independence aging threatens to take away. The key is whey protein. Unlike other proteins, it is quickly absorbed and packed with essential amino acids that directly stimulate muscle repair. Research in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that seniors who consumed whey protein daily maintained 25% more muscle mass over 3 years compared to those who didn't. For anyone over 60, that's the difference between rising from a chair on your own or relying on someone else's hand. Ricotta also contains a generous amount of calcium and phosphorus, a combination that locks strength into bones. Together with its protein, it fights both sarcopenia, muscle loss, and osteoporosis, bone loss, the two conditions most responsible for robbing seniors of mobility. It's rare for one food to fight both battles at once. Ricotta does exactly that. Helen, a 70-year-old retired nurse, thought her days of cooking were behind her because she tired so easily. Her daughter encouraged her to swap her cream-heavy desserts for ricotta with berries. Within weeks, Helen noticed her energy improving and her muscles feeling steadier. She laughed and said, "I didn't just get dessert back, I got my legs back." This is why ricotta tops the must-eat list. It doesn't just taste good. It restores strength, fuels bones, and protects independence. When paired with the other longevity cheeses, it creates a daily defense against decline. And now that we've revealed all 4 of the best and worst, it's time to step back, tie everything together, and face the urgent truth about cheese and aging. So there you have it. The truth about cheese after 60. On one side, the hidden dangers. American cheese, cream cheese, blue cheese, and processed spreads, each one stripping away health quietly until independence is gone. On the other side, the protectors. Feta, cottage cheese, Parmesan, and ricotta, each one delivering strength, bone health, and energy to keep seniors walking tall into their 70s, 80s, and beyond. The difference isn't small, it's life-changing. Choosing the wrong cheese can double your risk of stroke or accelerate bone loss, while choosing the right one can preserve muscle, protect your heart, and keep you out of the nursing home. Every meal is a decision between decline and strength, and the choice is sitting right there on your plate. Now I want to hear from you. What cheese do you eat most often, and have you noticed how it makes you feel? Share your answer below. We're not just reading, we're replying, because your story could be the one that inspires someone else to make the change. If you found this video eye-opening, hit like, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe. Because the foods you eat today aren't just about taste. They're about freedom tomorrow. Anything you'd like to add? Comment below. We'd value your perspective. Thanks for watching.